Life.
Hello, my name is Trilly Rose. I am a teacher here and I'm going to teach English as a second language for English second language learners. This lesson will be geared towards adults from the ages of 18 to 30. The participant I have today for my audience is my sister Patricia Bush. The lesson that we'll teach today is grammar structure, more specifically past tense grammar. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see what I have going on. Alrighty then. Like I said before, the grammar structure that I have chosen will be simple past tense. We can use several tenses and forms to talk about the past, but the past simple tense is one that we use most often. How can we make the past simple tense? There are two simple and basic structures for the past tense simple. The first one is positive sentences. You add the subject and the main verb. That will give you the past simple. Let's look at the second, the negative and question sentences, which you have the subject added with the auxiliary do, conjugated in the past simple, will give you the main verb did. Look at these examples with the main verbs go irregular and work regular. For example, the first one has the subject listed as I. There's no auxiliary verb for it. The main verb would be went to school. Another example of this is you, which there is no auxiliary verb for. Main verb would be worked very hard. Let's look at some that do have auxiliary verbs. She did, which would be the auxiliary verb, not go, which will be the main verb, with me. And the last two that are listed would be did, which is the subject. The auxiliary verb would be you, and then the main verb would be go, and then the subject London. All right. From the above list, notice the following points for positive sentences. There are no auxiliary verbs for the positives. The main verb is conjugated in the past simple. Invariable, ed, or irregular. For negative and question sentences, the auxiliary is conjugated in the past simple. Invariable, did. The main verb is invariable and base form base. For negative sentences, we insert not between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. For the question sentences, we exchange the subject and the auxiliary verb. Emphatic did. Normally, for positive sentences, we do not use the auxiliary did, but if we want to emphasize or stress something or contradict something, we may use it. For example, I didn't use a spell checker, but I did use a dictionary. Here are some more examples. Why didn't you go to the party? I did go. It did seem a bit strange. After drinking it, I did in fact feel better. Past simple with main verb be. The structure of the past simple with the main verb be is where you have the subject plus the main verb be conjugated in the past simple was, were. Look at these examples with the main verb be. The subject can either be I, he, she, it. The main verb would be was, here. The subject can also be you, we, they. Main verb being were in London. Your subject may also be in times I, he, she, it was not there. Here are 3 more examples of that. You can also use the past tense before you introduce the subject. For example, this will be, was I right? Were you late? Those are some examples. From the above table, notice the following points. There are no auxiliary verbs, even for questions and negatives. The main verb be is conjugated in the past simple was, were. From negative sentences, we insert not after the main verb. From question sentences, we exchange the subject and the main verb. How do we use the past simple tense? We use the past simple tense to talk about an action or a situation or an event in the past. The event can be short or long. Here are some short events in the past simple. The car exploded at 9:30 a.m. yesterday. She went to the door. He did not hear the telephone. Did you see the car? These are examples of the past, present, and future. The action is in the past. Here are some long events with the past simple tense. I lived in Bangkok for 10 years. The Jurassic period lasted about 62 million years. We did not sing at the concert. Did you watch TV last night? This is also an example of the past, present, and future. The action is also in the past. Notice that it does not matter how long ago the event is. It can be a few moments or seconds in the past or millions of years in the past. Also, it does not matter how long the event is itself. It can be a few milliseconds, car explosion, or millions of years, Jurassic period. We use the past simple tense when the event is in the past, the event is completely finished. We say or understand the time and or place of the event. This would be an example of a situation that is ongoing. You wouldn't use this in a phrase of something that you do every day because it's not finished and it's not completed. In general, if you say the past time or place of an event, we must use the past simple tense. We cannot use the present perfect. Here are some more examples. I lived in the house when I was young. Can you read the second one for me, please, Patricia?
He didn't like the movie.
Okay, from this sentence, can you break down the subject and also the past tense?
The subject would be he, and the past tense verb is didn't. Well, did and not together to make didn't.
Perfect. What did you eat for dinner? The subject of this sentence would be you, and the past tense verb would be eat. There are a few more examples here. John drove to London on Monday. Mary did not go to work yesterday. Did you play tennis last week? I was at work yesterday. We were not late for the train. Were you angry? Like I said before, that concludes our lesson. And my audience that I was geared towards today would be adults from the ages of 18 to 30. The level of preparedness would be intermediate. The setting would be over a Zoom meeting. The audience would be my sister. And once again, we studied today grammar, structure, simple past tense verb. All right, thank you so much for being my audience today.
Thank you.